Hebrew 12 that says, "Let no root of bitterness springing up, and by it the many are defiled. We are troubled and the many are defiled." This damage that we carry with us. Either sins done to us, which would give us spot, or wrinkles our own sin, like our own whoopsies. And they kind of cling to us as an indictment. And the enemy will help us continue to keep those in our heart rather than release them to the Lord like as we were meant to be. So we can tell if we're experiencing some bitter root action because we're just coming into relationship. We're just wanting this, heart-to-heart connection. And according to when we grab that hand, we get this emotional reaction. It's almost like I've got a party buzzer in my hand. And so when you hit that emotional reaction, you're like, ow, that really hurts. That really gives me a reaction. We know we don't war against flesh and blood, so something else is going on. Now, fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, shame on you. Like, oh, I'm going to keep my heart away from you. You, the one you gave me, Lord. It happened in the garden and it happens to us. What we have the opportunity to say is, I don't war against flesh and blood, but I am having an emotional reaction. And this is telling me that one of two things. I'm having an unsettled issue that's coming from my foundation and springing up, troubling me, potentially defiling the other. And another thing that I could be observing is that I'm not very good at those fruits of the Spirit. When this emotion is coming up, can I remain patient? Can I remain kind? If that's not possible, then we know that we actually can't pull this off with our will, that we actually need audience. We can go right to the Holy of Holies. That's what the Lord said. And in fact, this place dwells within us. So as He dwells within us, Holy Spirit, when I hit that bitter root, when I hit that emotional reaction, I'm able to go to the Lord anytime, any minute of any day. But actually, Hebrews 10 says it is our responsibility. You can't push this down or deny it. If you're having a reaction, you are going to sin if you don't give it to God. You're going to sin. You're going to harden your heart. You're going to meditate your right to be offended. You're going to feel that terrible, icky, feel shame. All of the things that Satan played on them in the garden. I'm going to start to be afraid and build walls or hide from the humans, hide from life, hide from God. We know when we're going in the wrong direction. And Hebrews 10 says you better pay attention to that because Jesus paid a precious price to fix it. You leave that unattended and actually there is no help for you. You've already exhausted the gift that was given. You did not. You chose to use your will and not exercise that gift. So inner healing is not just for a couple wounded people. Inner healing, or what I call the purification process, is actually a mandate. As we begin to listen to those emotional reactions that we're having, as we begin to really walk circumspectly and see what was my behavior, what was my action. And now I have a personal responsibility to the Lord to make sure I keep my accounts short, make sure that I'm at peace with all men, make sure that what I hear, the nature of God to be in that book, is the experience that I have in my own heart. I'm not rehearsing grudges or offenses. I have a responsibility. Now the Jews knew this. They had a holy awe of the Lord, and they needed to account for all of their heart out of position before the book closes. So they know they have to keep their accounts short. We are not quite so cognizant of when we're reacting and when we're out of God's will. But we can tell because of those emotions flagging. Emotions are saying, uh-oh, something's up, something's going on here, and you don't war against flesh and blood, but you do have a power and voice that's pushing you around. And if you do not get going to the other voice, resist the enemy, flee. If you do not get going to the other voice, odds are you're probably going to go all the way into offense. The enemy is going to provoke you into fear and hiding. And it's going to actually affect your value. But you see the other way. Perfect love casts out fear. And it's the grace of God that heals that wound so that I can show grace and mercy and not choose offense. And it's actually God's truth, God's love that washes away all guilt, all shame. So this package is perfect. Why would we avoid this voice? Why would we continue to listen to this voice? And why would we hide the fact that we wobble, we oops, we misbehave, we make mistakes? There's absolutely no reason, because grace is available to us.